welcome back. I'm Paul on the ball. I'm here with Roy Thomas, the Vice President of the BVI Motor Association. And Roy and I were talking in the first half about Big Red, Anthony DeCastro, and all that he'd done for the sport, and of course the Easter car show. Well, we're now moving on to the summer, which we're at now, and we're going to talk a bit about the summer car show. Welcome back, Roy, and tell us a bit about the summer car show. It's coming up. It's, I don't want to say with a difference, but it's with a bang. We want to get more excitement. Tell me a bit about it. Okay,
Mr. Paul, this summer car show really came about. It was like a late thing because, to be honest, this weekend was just gone. We were supposed to be, Bmsa was supposed to be doing a car show in St. Martin. They invited us to do a car show with those guys, compete against Anguilla, St. Martin, and Guadeloupe. But about a month ago, we found out that it wouldn't be having a car show because I have some kind of discrepancy with Capital Production. They said it wasn't going to do a car show again. So we decided, well, we can't let the BVI go. We got to save the BVI with the car show.
Of course.
So we decided that we're going to forget about, we're not really saying about promoting St. Martin, and we're going to try to do our own thing home. Got to keep home. And like I always say, a pastor christens his own child first.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's so important that we you know, the people can see what we're doing so they understand, because there's nothing like feeling and touching and seeing yourself.
Exactly. So we decided we're going to do our own car show home in the BVI. We're trying to encourage, we wouldn't really have much overseas cars in the sense of like USVI. We're trying to get some in still. We have some cars, about some cars maybe coming from the States, 1 or 2. We're not sure what's going to be at the show as yet at this moment, but we're looking forward to it. We have registration from Virgin Gorda. We have some scooters from Antigua. We were trying our best to get some cars because we didn't know that Just Van Dyke had a car show about 2 to 3 months ago. We were trying to get those guys come over.
Wow.
So we're not sure exactly if they're going to be, we're trying our best to get, like, is it mostly like a BVI car show.
Right.
Not just Tatola, just all islands, but we're still encouraging, looking for St. Thomas. So who else would like to come? We're not telling you not to come. We're hoping that you come.
Okay, so what exactly is going to be happening at the show, let's say different to the Easter show? What can people look forward to?
Well, in this Easter, this summer show, what we're going to do, we're going to put a show into a show. We're planning on having, since it's festival time and every year, we're planning to have like the Mokojumbi, some steel pan, some modeling, some fun and games for the kids. We're even planning right now to get like food contests, either hot dog eating contest with cash prize, or hot wing contest eating, things like that to like keep the show into the show going. And you know, of course, they're going to have the ladies with the modeling. Can't forget that part.
We can't forget the ladies with the modeling.
Fast cars, good looking. Exactly. Fast cars, good looking cars, and ladies come together. That was Big Red motto. He's not really, this show, Ali will not call it his name, but all these shows would be in the remembrance of Big Red. Because like, no matter what we're doing, we're always Big Red these shows.
People obviously don't know where it's going to be held, the venue, and so tell us a bit about when it's going to be and the date and what have you.
Okay, we're holding the show at the HLCC College, and in the campus ground. It's going to be on the 30th of July. We're trying to start 12 o'clock sharp. We also have registration, going to be by registration forms can be picked up from Lazarus, Kevin Parson. Then also we can pay from Tuluchi, the president, or any member of Bmsa, or at JS Automotive Service. That's one of our leading, we can farm, and JS Automotive is where you can, if you want to fix up your car too, he has the parts them where you can also look to get your cars started out.
So that's the 30th of July. It's going to be at the HLSCC Community College. That's, of course, going out towards
Paraquita
Bay. And what's going to be the cost?
The cost to get in will be $10. Entrance to the place will be $10. For the cars will be $50. Right. For registration forms will be $50. Also, we're stressing we would not be registering no car on the day of the show. Because when you register cars on the day, it really slow down. And last time for the Easter show, we had so much people came in the day and we couldn't turn them back. But the show ended up later than we expected. Right. So this time you have to pre-register. Pre-register from any member, and cutoff date for registration will be from the 22nd, but let's say about the 25th. That's the week before the actual car show. That's the Monday.
Right.
So see if you can get your registration in as early as possible before this day.
So registration is going to be, the deadline is the 25th of July. You will not be allowed to register the cars on the day because the show finishes too late. So you must register beforehand. It's $50 to register your car, and it is $10 admission for guests. Is that correct, Roy?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Also, if you want to get tickets, you can get it from Toluchi Farrington, who is the president. You can get it from Roy himself, and you can also get it from Kevin Lazarus.
Or you can also check JS Automotive, and there'll be more information at those places. JS Automotive, they'll give you more information about the show itself, the different categories. If you have any question, you can look for anybody, members of the Bmsa or JS Automotive or Lazarus at his place.
Okay.
Now, these are stationary places where people will mostly be met.
Correct. So people, everybody know, so they can find Toluchi where?
Well, Toluchi, you can find him. Toluchi is all about over the place.
Okay. I know it's a small island. Yeah, pinpoint. Somebody says, well, I didn't want to get to Toluchi.
Well, if they want to, see, the easiest way to find people, it will be at JS Automotive.
JS Automotive. Let's keep it simple. JS Automotive or Lazarus?
Yeah, ask for Lance at JS Automotive or Lazarus at Lazarus.
At Lazarus Services. Okay, yes, great. So that keeps that pretty simple. Yeah. All right, let's go on to during the break we were talking a bit about Nevis, and what does all the Nevis talk about?
Okay, what we're trying to do, our BMSA is really part of doing other shows. We can't forget about the other part of motorsport. That's the drag racing. We also right now we're trying to get linked with Nevis to do carry a team from Tatola in September. Well, right now it's in the making. We can't say exactly what, but we're trying to carry a team from Nevis from here to in September to do the race, because they're having their independence and they're having drag racing.
Right.
And we're getting an invitation from Nevis to attend this drag racing. So we're trying to get that on the road for September.
I'm glad you mentioned drag racing. I don't want to break away from what we're going to stick into the summer, but for people who don't understand, like myself, drag racing, certainly it must be a very, how is it structured for safety?
Well, that's one of the most safety, because you can't just say the cars have to be tested, the brakes, the gas, everything got to be the helmet, roll cage. You can't just say you're going to drag race. You have to pass certain inspections, and safety precautions is one of the major factors in drag racing on a professional drag strip.
And is drag racing one straight line, or do they
you have drag racing is a straight, see the top speed, the top cars in a straight line. The one with the call will be like rally racing or high tune wrong in the countryside racing.
Right. So let's talk a bit about getting back now. So that's that. So you guys are actually going to be doing the Nevis.
We're not really doing the Nevis. We're trying to get a team together, BMSA. Is right. To get a team together to go to Nevis. Once everything is possible, because the most part we have the problem is badge. A badge alone to get to Nevis, we're talking close to about $15,000, $20,000.
I see. So we're talking about getting some support from the summer car show, and with a good support and sponsors. So we're talking to sponsors here as well. Yeah. Great. Okay. So we need to know. People need to know who we're talking to. We're talking to the sponsors. We're talking to the general public to come out and support the summer car show.
Even sometimes the government, because they're really the sports, right. And we're promoting the BVI into these guys. When you go overseas, you represent exactly. You're representing Tatola overseas. And right now they just passed the law about drag racing in Tatola. So we're trying to get the guys them into the fundamental of the real track race, not street racing, track, and the official drag. stretch.
So it's very structured, very organized, and very safe. And that's the important thing for people to understand. Because when you hear drag racing, you think of a bunch of youngsters driving around and going boom, boom, boom. And it's actually nothing like that at all.
No, nothing
very
like
structured,
that.
very safe. So that's very good to know. I'm very happy to hear that. So let's get back finally now to the summer car show. Again, tell people about what they can expect in summer car shows. What are some of the highlights you would say for the show? Just to remind everyone.
Some of the highlights would be like the king of the streets. That's the guys that will drive around with these music loud. Okay. We're gonna put all of them together, and the crowd is what's gonna judge.
Well, that's where I normally go. I normally go to hear the king of the streets. I go to hear the king of the streets.
That's the crowd pleaser, not judges or no. You get the guys them, and then they have another highlight is the guy with the bass. For instance, for summer, we had a guy from here from St. Croix who won the show. The guys from here usually win, but this guy came prepared. He actually blew out his windshield with the bass.
My gosh, that is bass.
Yeah,
that is bass. So, you think you can get one in my car?
No, well, we'll have to see. I have the wife first.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I suppose that. Roy, I'm liking you more all the time. So we're gonna ask the wife about putting the bass into my car. What else? Do you have the girls walking around?
Well, the ladies will be through the cars, taking pictures with the cars. That's what the crowd like to see, the ladies in their short pants and high heel shoes, and pretty looking ladies. And they're taking pictures with the cars, the fancy show cars and everything.
Can anyone, like, for instance, say I walked up and there was a nice girl next to the car, can I go next to the car with the girl and take a photo? Do you allow that?
The two things you have to ask. You have to ask the girl permission if she will take,
okay.
And if the owner of the car will let you lean up. Because when a guy just showing his car, he don't want to lean up on his car.
Right, so, but I try to lean on the girl.
Yeah, well, that'd be even better. Yeah, but I don't think it would be a problem. If you want to take a picture with the vehicles, it shouldn't be a problem.
So they'd be happy about that?
Yeah, just ask the way to the photographer or the lady, and it shouldn't be a problem.
Any other highlights you think that, I mean, you've said a lot. I mean, I'm pretty excited already. I certainly want to be there.
The highlights I can tell you is come out and enjoy yourself, have a great time, and we try to keep it safe, no fighting, just keeping it for festival and the BVA. We can it a big way into promotion. Well,
I've got to say, of all the BSMA promotions I've been to in the past, they've all been very safe, trouble-free. So I'm sure at least we can encourage mothers and daughters and kids to come along. There's going to be popcorn and all kinds of food.
Exactly, we're having food. We're especially looking for the kids. Kind of kids, we have rides for the kid, the bouncies and those big slides. We're trying to have everything for everybody in the family. So a roundup again to remind everyone. I'll just quickly remind you from what Roy has said to me. It's on the 30th of July at the HLSCC Community College. That's at Parakeeta Bay. It's $10 admission. It's $50 if you want to actually physically bring a car. You have until the 25th of July, please guys, to register your car. After that, they are going to be very strict this year. There will be no walk-ins on the day. You will not be allowed to bring your car. No, I won't say you're not allowed to bring. You can bring a car on a day, but they won't be judging. You can go and bring a car, but you won't be judging. We put it in the show pad. They have a pad for just show. Just show. Yeah, we won't be judging on that because we're really trying to start this and let the committee know that timing is. If the show go late, everybody's cussing. Oh, you're going too late. We can't show this. We're trying to make this in the day, and the night the music pad is where you can hear. So you can hear the music in there, but especially, and then the judges, the part of the trophies. Everybody can see who's going to get a trophy, who win what, who won what. That'll be exciting. So when you do too late, it does not be, like the fun part about it. For the guys bringing kids along and the girls and the families, in other words, what sort of time are we looking for the close off? Well, we're looking, I will be honest with you, the show goes on. Even after the show, there's a little show. The guys them have their grudge matches against each other with the music part. So the show can go on until, but the main part of the show with the real judging parts and the crowd pleasers, we want to get that in as early as possible before the crowd decided to leave or get too dark. So let's just wrap it all up now and let's tell the folks we're going to give you the opportunity to rebut. What would you like to tell the folks about the show coming up? Well, we're going to tell it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be spectacular. Come out and support your own cars. Them, give everybody a chance to come and see what the BVET can product, and the most part, enjoy yourself. So that's the word from Roy. Enjoy yourself. I am Paul on the ball. You have a great evening. Enjoy yourself. Stay on the ball. You've been listening to Sports Desk. Have a great evening.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Desk. I am Paul on the ball, and really great to be here with you this evening. We've got some exciting stuff to talk about. In fact, you know, you ever seen drag racing on television? Well, you know, we've got it here in the BVI, and I've got a very special guest here to talk about this evening. His name is Roy Thomas. He is the Vice President of the BVI Motor Sports Association. And some of you may or may not know that, of course, the president is Toluchi Farrington. He preceded Mr. Anthony Big Red de Castro, who unfortunately passed away in December last year. So good evening, Mr. Roy Thomas, and great to have you here with us this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul on the ball. I'm glad to be here with you. And to all the people out there, I know they're looking forward to seeing more of the Sport Desk with you. Unfortunately, Mr. Dove is not here at the moment, but we're glad that you're the one doing it for now.
Well, it's great to be here this evening. Great to be back, you know, in the mix. And let's talk a bit about, let's go back a bit and talk about the Easter Car Show, because many of you attended the Easter Car Show earlier in the year, and this is sort of like a continuation of that. Let's talk a bit about that first. Tell us a bit of how that all came about and why you did the Easter Car Show.
Okay, well, the Easter Car Show was a memorial show to Mr. Anthony Big Red de Castro. He loved Virgin Gorda more than anything else. Every year, Virgin Gorda was his baby. We consider that his baby. He will say that on Easter, he's going to dedicate the show in Virgin Gorda for people in Virgin Gorda, because they will usually have a car show for the last 7 years in Virgin Gorda. So that was Anthony Big Red's main thing. His main show was in Virgin Gorda every Easter.
What is it about Virgin Gorda that you think that he really loved, and did the people of Virgin Gorda sort of appreciate what he was doing out there?
Yes, I would consider that they loved it, because they participated every year. The younger generation, the people turned out, and every year it was always a show for those guys over in Virgin Gorda. And it was Easter again. They're adding to their carnival, their parade, and their festivities. We used to love to go and add to their festivities some of the show of the cars them.
Okay, that's excellent. Let's talk a bit about some of the things that happened in Virgin Gorda on the show. What are some of the highlights you would say for the Virgin Gorda show?
This last Virgin Gorda show was a real highlight. It was one of the biggest in the Virgin Islands. We had cars from Anguilla, we had cars from St. Croix, we had the cars from Tortola, the cars from Virgin Gorda. It was basically like a Caribbean clash. Some of the main Caribbean vehicles, cars. These are the people that Anthony really carried Bmsa to these different islands to do car shows in. St. Croix, St. Thomas, Anguilla. We went to, and unfortunately, Anguilla, Antigua, and St. Martin didn't get to come because of some shipping difficulties at the last moment. But these are islands we went to, and we clashed against them, and somehow we came out kind of victorious. So we did that dedication back to him for these guys who we met and we knew in the car show industry for years coming back.
I think what a lot of people are going to want to know is, for a man like Big Red, what would you say was his favorite car? At the show for the Easter show, which one did he enjoy the most? Well,
if Big Red was there, I can't say which one, because everything there was fantastic. From the show cars to the song cars, everybody did their best to perform at that show. Because it was everybody overseas, even the locals. It was not just a regular show, it was to the best anybody's ability could have been.
Tell us a bit about you, though. What did you enjoy the most of the show?
Well, I enjoyed the show, the music, the beautiful ladies at the show. I enjoyed the show, and the song competition was off the chain. Because those guys prepared 100%. Even the show cars was extremely lovely this year.
Great. I mean, these kind of shows are obviously very, very special. Let's take the people a bit, though, to tell them a bit about the cars themselves, you know, the kind of work that's put in behind the scenes about the cars. You know, why would somebody come to see a show like this? What would excite them about this show?
Because with these shows, I guess it all depends on what you like. If you like to see oldie cars, they have some of those. If you like to see, because the guys them extremely had spent their money, again, that's one of the main things, and they really show off their rise, their talent in a way that that these guys build the car in Tortola, in Virgin Gorda. The music part is extremely off the chain. It's like something that You have to be there to notice. You can't just look at TV and see a show car. Tattoo will also have their own show cars too.
Okay, I'm not going to let him get off there. I'm not going to get off there so lightly. What I want to know, the people out there want to know is, tell me specifically one car, whether it was your personal car. Just give us a picture, walk us through one of your favorite cars that was in that Easter show.
Well, in that Easter show, it had a vehicle, black Jaguar. The guy customized the doors. Actually, everybody's doors just go up. His one actually went down. They dropped downwards. They didn't went upwards like the usual doors. It had another vehicle there. The engine, the hood was glass, made of glass. So you can look through the hood. You don't have to open the hood to see the engine.
Wow.
It was glass. And the other guys, had some guys that came in, the vehicle actually came in on the ground. They drove in, like scraping the ground to be on the ground.
Wow.
So, and then also the music part is like, you have bands in these vehicles. So there's like Extreme and Showtime, you look out, these guys with these vehicles can give you competition.
They get a competition,
yeah.
For sure. So what is the kind of work that is put into a car? How long would it take to take a car from scratch and build it up to what we are seeing out there now? Well,
it all depends. It can take years. I know one vehicle took the owner close to about 4 years to build. Every year he does something new. Some guys take shorter car, they just start from 3-4 months without the vehicle moving and just fix it up. It can take from, it all depends on the limit you want to go to. Because some of these cars, some don't even drive on the streets. They just come off of shows and that's it.
I'm Paul on the Ball and you're here at Sports Desk. We're just so happy to have you here with us this evening. I'm here with Roy Thomas, the Vice President of the BVI Motorsports Association. And we're talking a bit about the Easter car show, which was held in the memory of Big Red DeCastro. I want to just kind of get back a bit, Roy, to Big Red. And tell us the kind of person that he was and what really drove Big Red to really to become the president, and to obviously he was one of the main people that pushed this whole car show, or cars in general.
Well, Big Red, from time I know Big Red would meet anybody down the road and they would be like in a sad mood and he would sit down and have a conversation and he would tell you from the oldest car to the newest car, the fastest car to the slowest car, and he always was that kind of guy. Cars was his life. It was otherwise than his regular job. You can have, once you have a problem with a car or anything with car, you can call Big Red and he was there for you in the car aspect of life. He always told us he grew up with those guys, the older guys who were like Bobby Smith and those guys, and those who had those cars, the older dudes. He grew up with those guys, and he said from after he finished school and he would do his work for homework and his housework, he'd go out with those guys to look at them, fix their cars, or watch this. That was his love for life.
Now, you mentioned Bobby Smith there, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Tell us, how far back can you remember from guys like Bobby Smith, and how far back does your memory go to the early days, what we call the old days?
Well, old days, I can remember people like Bobby Smith and the guy was Doc, and those guys, and I think Windpipe from Eastern, those guys was the older generation who had those cars with those magnificent big rims, and with the guys with the bugs and those older days. I was going
to ask you about the bugs. Let's talk a bit about I mean, they used to have, I remember in the 60s, the late 60s, there was I can't remember which one it is, a fair-skinned chap used to redo those bugs. He used to just do some amazing things. This is the 1960s we're talking about.
But right now, we also have a bug, a 1959 bug, what is in the car show. And that being here now is a green bug. It belongs to one of the members from Bmsa, and that's been in the car show now for the last 2 to 3 years. And like I said, it built it from scratch, and it's extremely lovely. We have these cars. Like I said, these guys bringing back old cars versus the new cars. And they have been there also. So it's like, when you come to the show, you see an old goal, and you still see something new. That was there in the show in Virgin Gorda. The bug was not there in Virgin Gorda, but it been for the past, it been in the show. And those guys from Virgin Gorda also, they have, I can remember, I had this one guy with a pickup truck. And when he first came to the show, it was looking kind of good, but as years go by and big with encouragement, this guy came to the show and the doors were going up the air, the tray was going up the air. He really improved a lot from what we had the last time. Wow. And we're watching these kind of things to make the car show, especially the BV, a part, like a map on the Caribbean with the car show.
Well, Roy, just listening to you makes me want to hear about what's coming up next, but we're going to hold that thought for a pause and thank our sponsors. You're listening to Sports Desk. I'm Paul on the Ball. Stick and stay with us. We'll be right back.